Hi guys, it's Ian at Global Air Supplies. We've got some great news. The IWS system is now available from us as the distributor and the manufacturer. It's come back from HORTICULTURE, and as everybody knows, I developed this system probably about 15 years ago, and it's been sold through HORTICULTURE throughout that period of time. But now it's back where it belongs. I want to go a little bit in detail on how the IWS system works. So you always need a water butt. This is where you keep your water and your nutrients. You need a brain, a timer, a set of piping and your pots. So what happens, this is a standard remote. You set a segment out on the timer. As the clock turns round, it clicks into this segment, triggering a feed. So what happens, water from the tank runs into the brain bucket, down the 6 lines, and will fill from underneath all the way to a preset level with a float valve in the brain. When the time stops, it will automatically turn the pump on in the brain and pump all the nutrient back into the tank. This allows like a piston effect. So as the water comes into the media, if you're using a 60-40 mix, which I prefer, or whatever mix you're using in these pots, it will flood, push all the stale oxygen out of the growing medium like a piston, and as it drains back, it will drag all fresh oxygen into your root zone and drain back to your tank, which will in turn drain back to here. It's a great little system. We have a couple of different variants in the pot. So this is what we call a 10.3 punch pot. So it's completely mesh in the bottom. That sits in there. I always put pebbles in the bottom. What you can do is use these copper discs. So the systems come with a copper disc. All you do is put the copper disc in the bottom, put some pebbles in there, and then fill up with 60-40. That's how I like to do it. We also have 2 different variations of a pot. You have a culture and an aqua. An aqua was originally designed just for pebbles. So you fill this with pebbles, drop it into the system, and what happens, it will flood into the pebbles and drain away. If you're using just pebbles, you've got to be feeding, not constantly, but I would say every 3 hours you need to be feeding with the lights on. This is what we call a culture pot. So very similar to the punch pot. You fill it with growing medium and the roots will come out of the bottom, but it's a lot smaller volume of medium. People like a lot of medium these days, but the aqua pot is a great little pot. Again, put your pebbles in the bottom, put your copper disc in the bottom if you want to do, fill it full of 60-40 and the system will flood and drain the pot. I like the standard and the standard remote because we use the glands. So I was the first guy to bring the glands into the hydroponic industry. Makes it really easy just to unscrew the gland, pull the fitting out, slide it back in, turn it back on, and it seals it. It's really easy to use. If I'm using 16mm pipe and glands, I would probably go up to about a 24 pot system. I have run a 48 pot system on there, but I do prefer the bigger pipe when I go over 24, and that's when you start to use the Pro system, which has got 25mm pipe and 25mm fittings. If you want any more information on this fantastic IWS system, jump on the website. Cheers guys.